Hey guys, and welcome along to another video. ERT Stevie here, and today I'm bringing you highlights of an endurance race I did last week. Both myself and Alegna were taking part, but before I explain more, the race has started and I qualified P3 as you saw, so luckily been able to go straight up into P2 and following right behind Alegna, which is pretty much the ideal start for us as a team, to be honest. Wanted to work together in this race to try and get the best result. So as we continue through the first sector on the first lap, just a bit of time here to tell you about the race and the format. So everyone's in a Group 3 car. If you're doing this as a series, as a championship, you have to use the same car for each round. So I'm using the Chevrolet Corvette C7. I think the races are 1 hour long. Tyre wear is on ×3 I believe, and fuel's on ×2, so it's a nice format, offers different levels of strategies, and yeah, nice longer run. I prefer the longer races. FI for example are too short for me to enjoy. I still like to compete in them because they're very competitive, but I do wish that FI was longer. The other thing to mention with this race is it's soft tyres only allowed, which I prefer the softer compound. I feel like I can lean on them a bit more. So just jump forward to lap 2 now, and coming through 130R here, I'm just going to run a bit wide, get my wheel on the tyre, and it is just going to spit me out and spin me around like a top. I'll take out the brake marker there for good measure, just infuriate everyone, and yeah, mess up the recovery a bit. Obviously, one thing I should have mentioned probably in the beginning is I was actually driving this race with one hand. This was the first race I did with one hand. You might have seen the video footage of the FIA race that I did, but this is a race I did a couple of days before that. So yeah, took me a bit longer to recover than what it may normally would have, and going to see that now on replay on TV camera, and just getting the other side of onto the darker green, and yeah, it just throws me out. So what should have maybe have been an easier race is now I'm right at the back, down in P15 out of 15, and recovery drive is going to commence from here. So we're up behind Percy here. Obviously got a good run over chicane, so we're going to be looking to take 14th on the way into turn 1 here, and yeah, we get that done nicely there, and I'll rejoin you guys later in the race as the P14 guy, the German, I'm not going to try and pronounce that name, has a bit of a moment in turn 2, so yes, we're able to move up into P13. So I'll leave you guys to enjoy these highlights, and I'll rejoin you later in the race. So we're coming up to the end of lap 10 now, and this is going to be our in lap. We're planning to do a 2-stop strategy here. The soft tyres, as you can see in the bottom left, they're wearing quite a bit. You could possibly have made it a 1-stop, but I felt the pace loss as the tyres wore was quite high, so 2 stops seemed to be a way to go, which is also the same strategy as majority of the field did there. I'm going to come out right inside this guy, race driver Obi-Wan, and he just keeps ahead. In that pit sequence we've also jumped Cooper as well, so we've gained another position. We came in P10 and we've come out P9. and then on to the end of lap 11. This is obviously still our out lap. So we see a couple more guys ahead in the pits. We're going to try round the outside here of race driver Obi-Wan, but he's just outbraked himself a little bit, goes a bit deep, and we managed to sneak up into P8. You can see TX3 Chevrolet and Aura still in the pits. If you keep an eye to the right hand side, you're going to see Aura just emerge as we're going past. So he must have fueled up heavily because he was way ahead of us before we pitted, but that's now us up to P7. So we're coming to the end of lap 17 now. We've been chasing Halbstack down now for a few laps. I've had a few races with Halbstack in the past, and they've always been good races, but he's made the big mistake of that chicane and gone off, and from being maybe a couple of seconds behind, we're now right on his tail, and you can see he's shaking his tyres. He knows he's going to have dirty tyres for turn 1, and in my mind I want to take advantage of this and pounce now if you like. So it's quite a late one out, but I'm quite far alongside, and he just drifts off, which is a shame. Now when this happened at the time, I was pretty certain that there wasn't contact, but I wasn't 100% sure. So as it's a community race, I didn't really want to be bad feeling, and I thought if in doubt, I don't want to take advantage of that. So best to give him back the place now, and I can always review it later. So yeah, did what I felt was the right thing. Let him back through. Obviously it's cost us around 3 or 4 seconds in lap time, but obviously I'm behind him again now, so got to look to redo the pass again as we come through Degner 1 and Degner 2 here. And I do love Suzuka. Suzuka is one of my favourite tracks, but it does punish you if you make a mistake, as you've seen on lap 2. So into here, I'm not waiting here, I'm going this time, clear up the inside, little bit dive by me I guess, but I was fully committed to that. Good strong exit out there, and finally into P4. So we're just going to review this incident now in replay. This is just to check if there was actually contact between us or not. You can see we do get close, but there isn't any contact. But I think the fact that we both went in a little bit hot may have obviously unnerved him to go wide there. So yeah, got to the end of lap 19 now, and TX3 Chevrolet, who I've been trying to close down, he actually pits, and he pits with 35% of fuel. And if you look at my fuel, I've got roughly 12-13% of fuel here. So I know from here that it's going to be really tough to catch Chevrolet. Obviously Legner's out in a league of his own. Sparks and Chevrolet were having quite a close race. End of lap 20 now. This is going to be our in lap for our second stop, and you can see Halbstack has still managed to keep up with us. I've really struggled to get away, to be honest, since going past. So he's done a good job to hang on to my tails here. But nevertheless, we're going to pit here, and Cooper was actually just on the back of me and Halbstack after we'd finished our little battle. And I didn't realise he must have made some mistake just before he came in, because he came in with 23% of fuel here. So I was pretty sure that he was going to jump me at this point. I hadn't realised he'd made this mistake, but he still comes out behind us, and now we're behind Aura. Obviously Legner's out in front of his own. Aura, Sparks, Chevrolet, and I'm not Beckham. Now Aura and Beckham were one stopping. So it was quite clear that as the race was going to go on, they were really going to drop off the pace, and we've caught Beckham here really quickly. Beckham actually qualified P2, did a great performance in qualifying, so he's clearly got some pace around here. But we're going to be, again, looking to get past him as quickly as possible to see if we're able to keep progressing up the field. So on the inside here of the spoon and hit the apex nicely there. Very important to not run wide out of the first apex. And yeah, job done out of there. And yeah, nice move out, I think. So obviously Beckham's still close behind us at the moment. Obviously once we get through some corners we'll be able to pull away, but just on the first apex of a Casio triangle I cut that just a touch too much, and I'm going to pick up a penalty. Penalty settings were on, shortcut settings were on I think weak, and they had a rule, the organisers had a rule where I believe if the penalty incurred was 2 seconds or higher, then you had to burn the penalty. So we've caught Aura up now, and obviously he's starting to really struggle. Aura actually pitted at the end of lap 11 and still going on his soft tyres. Not quite sure I'd have chosen that strategy, but fair play for trying something different, I guess. And you can see we're catching him hand over fist here. And just as we go through here, I'm trying to keep it tight, and just a slight tap there. I think he was lifting off the gas to let me through, which I didn't quite expect, so flash me indicators there to apologise for the contact. But we're now up to P4, a long way behind Schossa, but that is until lap 27, and we're going to see some yellow flags appear, and that is for Schossa. He's gone off between Degner 1 and Degner 2, and he's in our sights now. So Schossa pitted a lap earlier on the end of lap 19, so I know we've got 1 lap fresher tyres. Not sure if that'll make a huge difference or not, but yeah, he's that target in front of us now, something for us to hone in on. And the gap at that point is around 2 seconds. And we're about to start the final lap. Alegna will end up doing an extra lap more than the rest of us because he crosses the finish line literally with 1 second to go, but for all of us other mortals we're going to be doing 30 laps, so I'll leave you to enjoy this last lap. So P3 at the end of that race, really happy to have been able to recover the P3 after obviously losing all that time on lap 1. That actually cost me 18 seconds, that incident. Just going to show the the move on Chaucer again on at Spoon Curve on the replay here. I'm really happy with this move. This is one of the nicest moves I've been able to pull off on this game, and I have to say fair play to Chaucer. He didn't run me out wide, there's no contact there at all, and it's great to have these type of races clean, fair, hard. You know, he made me work for it, he didn't just move over. And in the excitement of all that, I actually forgot to burn my penalty, which luckily didn't come back to haunt me, because if you see Cooper, obviously, who's caught both of us up, he's got a penalty, but Chaucer here, does exactly what I did. He cuts that first apex of a Casio triangle too tight, and you're going to see he's going to have a penalty now as well, so all of us finish with penalties. So luckily it didn't change the finishing order, you know, we all finished status quo, and yeah, that was a really good fun race. And that's the second race now I've done with the CRN guys, and I've really enjoyed both of them. Good clean racing, bit of strategy involved, longer format, and just the sort of races I really enjoy taking part in. So congratulations to Elegna and Sparks for finishing first and second in that race, and yeah, after the disaster of lap 2, really happy to have been able to recover the third. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy the video, please feel free to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already for more content from both myself and the other members of the ERT Esports team. Thanks for watching, and take care. Cheers.